Notice that's different. So, oh, I just had him. Yeah, and something that make. I don't know what the bandwidth is so bad for right now. Here it's getting better. People hear me now finally. Wow, we got like shitty bandwidth. There it comes up. What is that? Oh, it's coming up now. Okay. Yeah, they're cleaning up their piles of stuff. It's like a landscaping place right here. Doris Kapner just tagged me in a post on Instagram. Wonder what that's about. We get across the street when we have really good internet. I'll go ahead and start answering that question some more. I think I've answered it so many times. Most people can answer it for us. But also, we need to get a Christmas tree. I think we need to get a Christmas tree. I don't know when we're going to get it. Why don't we get it later? Over there is where the trees are. The guy over there is really nice. It was great chatting with him the other day. We were over there just saying hi. Oh, look at that. Holy cow. It's a completely open street. Oh my god, this guy's speeding so fast. You post a question, Jan? Alright. Let's see if I can read this. I realize it's windy here. I'm going to have to listen to the wind noise later. I do have a mic in case of wind noise like this, so I might use that eventually, but right now I'm talking so close to the mic, I think we'll be fine. So the question from Jan Poon Thong is I was thinking that I would learn more, that I would learn the core basics of computers and programming. The tutorial following teaches C in a simple, usual way, but just like other C tutorials, quote, we have a variable function, if statement, boolean. Therefore, these purposes, and this is what you use it for, yeah. I don't want to learn that. I wanted to learn tutorials or books that teach when a variable is declared, it allocates some chunk of memory and in the RAM and so on, lower and lower. The deep down hardcore things happen when a program is executed, when a function variable, addition, for loop, while loop is created. I did my research. It says here, did my research looking for courses, books, and videos, but I didn't find them teaching the thing I described, core basics, for learning these things. You're talking about memory management and stuff, right? or some other terms, let me know. We're gonna put a link in here. Yeah. So I think if I hear what you're saying there, you're like trying to get a handle on you know, what it's all about. And you know, okay, this gets back to the question the other person had too about being a beginner and wanting to get into the whole thing, right? So I'm just going to keep talking about that. I assume you guys can see the video, right? So, it boils down to figuring out what you want to do. And I mean, I can't overstate that. If you don't know what you want to do, and you're still exploring because you're trying to figure stuff out, then yeah, you know, the exploration of the foundational principles, memory management, pointers, what are they? How does a computer work? You know, those are all fantastic things. Yeah, but if you're just exploring, then learning assembly is really valuable. C and assembly, those are the languages I would recommend to everybody. If you're just trying to understand hardware, you're trying to understand how it works, and you want to, you know, maybe get into Internet of Things or Edge or some sort of thing like that. And by the way, if you still want, I'm not slamming Rust at this particular moment. If you still want to get into Rust, fine. But there's no language that gets you closer to the hardware than C and assembly, which can get you in trouble. But you need to know why it's trouble. You need to know, you know, why is it trouble when I overflow my buffers? Why is it trouble when I don't do this and that? Okay, but that's only, again, back to what your goals are. If your goal is to just understand how computers work and be a more well-rounded, you know, computer technologist or computer engineer, great. If you want to get a job in doing computer engineering or electronics or even, you know, kernel development, then all of those things directly apply to potential jobs in that area and everything like that. Or occupations. It doesn't have to be a job. It could be just something, maybe you're retired and you just want to do stuff, right? So I think those are still really valid things. I think no matter what, you should learn C. In fact, I've kind of, in the next boost that we do, we're going to learn C first. We're going to learn enough Bash to be dangerous on the command line. And then the first language we're going to learn is C. We're only going to spend like a week on it, but we're going to learn it after that. So that's the kind of thing. And so if you want to understand how computers work, you need to start, if you're truly after that kind of thing, then there's no better language than assembly. But assembly, you know, I used to have a student mentor person give me a hard time about it all the time. He goes, assembly's not a language. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's not a language. It's different on every chip. Every register is different. Every single chip has a different language. I'm like, okay, fine. So if you're going to get into that stuff, there's nothing better than assembly. And for that kind of thing, you should probably get like a training board. They have you know, assembly training kits and stuff. You don't just have to jump in like Strigger or somebody and, you know, just start hacking Nintendo or whatever. But there are ways to learn assembly. I haven't learned it. It's actually one of the things that I really want to add to my list eventually. And that gets me back to my other point as to why, right? I have never once in my entire life as a career had to learn any of that stuff. I've learned C, I've done memory management, I've found overflows to hack things and stuff like that. But it's not generally needed for most tech jobs. It's super valuable, but it's just not generally needed. So again, if your goals are, I want to slice away all of the wasted time and get to the point where I can get a job, then, you know, you have different priorities. And you might choose different languages based on that, you know, Python, Java, C++, you know, Go, of course. And so there might be people listening to me right now are like, why is this guy recommending assembly? It's not going to get me a job. Well, first of all, assembly would get you a job if you get a good assembly job. There's not as many of them. But if you want to do that, my personal plan for that kind of thing is to go get, there's something called a Gulagum board, which I have a ton of them. I got a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to start doing microcontroller coding in assembly on that, following their tutorials, but they're written by a computer engineer to kind of give you a sense of, so you learn assembly by learning it on the simplest possible devices, microchip PICs, PIC8s, they're like the tiniest things you can get pretty much. You know, they're the kind of electronics that are embedded inside of your Christmas tree lights and stuff like that. And so you learn how to code those kind of things, and then you move up. And their particular approach is you move up in complexity of chip, and therefore you learn a different version of the language every time. You learn, oh, hey, this one's got these registers in this location with these addresses, and it's different. And then I really like his approach. Some people think the only thing we should ever learn is ARM, but I don't know. I think understanding how the computer chips work and how memory works and all that stuff is important. So I'm kind of a fan of this particular Goolagum approach. It's, if you want to, the spelling of it is Gooligum, Gooligum. And there's other training boards out there and stuff. But the reason I like the Gooligums, and I forget the guy's name. He and I talked to each other on Twitter a little bit. I was going to make some tutorials. He doesn't write very well. So, but because he's an engineer, he's like, you know, and so yeah, I was just going to say, so, but I want, so you go through all those tutorials. Thank you for that. So you go through all the tutorials on that. So the guy that, okay, so the reason I am a big fan of this is because the guy that went through the Goolagum testing for me, Gabe, you've seen him, he's come in here before. Gabe is the one who taught himself assembly following these tutorials. He went through the whole thing. He went through it all in assembly, and then there's an entire set of tutorials that takes you through C. And so when you get to the C code, you're like, oh my God, C, it's so nice. Because you suffered through the assembly. You see? I love that. I love that. And I want to experience it for myself, actually. So I'm looking forward to doing it. I've got like something like 20 Goolagum boards in the packaging because I haven't used them since we changed over. But you're going to start to see that now that I'm doing a whole lot more IRL streaming and I got the lab going on with different lighting and stuff. You're going to see me do that on my free time. I've got things to learn with Kubernetes before I do that, but eventually I'm going to do that. And so the thing I like about it is that it's more than just a tutorial. He does call it a tutorial, but they are very, very detailed lessons. And he says, okay, notice this thing here. Notice when this changes. Notice this thing changes. First of all, the person who wrote the material is not an academic. He's first and foremost an engineer. You know what I mean? 2021 boost, day 0. Nice. Yeah, if you let me know how that goes. I mean, I have strong opinions there that you might not match, Anime Girl. It might not match with what you're going to do eventually. But so with the Goolagum stuff, the thing I really like is that by the time you get, so for example, you get to experience the pain and suffering of not having a sleep command. There's no such thing. In microchip PIC, there's no sleep command. You have to calculate how many cycles it takes, you know. And so then when you get, as I understand it, when you get to the sequencer, which is not something that exists on the lower end PIC chips, you get to the higher end PIC chips. Even if coding all these microchip PICs is kind of outdated, and Internet of Things is going all ARM now. So with your microcomputers, you know, there's a difference between a microcomputer and a microcontroller, right? And so, you know, the approach is, the approach that I like is that it simplifies the chip and therefore the language, so you can focus on learning real assembly. But the thing I like more than anything else is it's all real. It's real. As in, you are using the tools of a computer engineer. You have to buy a PIC programmer. You have to decide which one to get. You have to do the C coding. You have to flash it. You have to flash it from your laptop, your Linux machine. You can use, you know, whatever. And so the software that you come up with to do it is important. But let me get back to the main reason I recommend this particular product, having found it. I was so elated when I found it. So I didn't experiment. As I've told everybody, I experiment all the time on real human beings and seeing how they learn. And probably one of my brightest people I've had many, but one of my brightest, who then went on at, you know, 16, 17, 18, he went on to have his own internship for a solar energy company where he wrote a lot of Python. But I said, I want you to go through these tutorials. I want you to tell me and give me feedback on them. How hard are they? You know, tell me what's going on with this. And so let me just give you the end of the story. So fast forward, this guy picked whatever he wanted to do. He actually went to MIT, Carnegie Mellon, and all these other places and said, nah, I don't care. He got forced on all his computer science tests, and he made his own boards using SolidWorks, printed out his own casings for his computers using his 3D printer, and coded his own applications to run on them in assembly, and ordered the boards. You know, he ordered the boards from DHL, having diagrammed them all out in SolidWorks. And that's the level of engineer he went. He was so advanced. He was so advanced that in his computer engineering courses at NC State, where he says they had the best lab, that's why I went there. He said when he was in there, he was their assembly. They were teaching assembly, you know, CS 101 or something like that. They were teaching assembly, and he was like the de facto tutor for everybody, because he was the one who knew everything. And how did he learn it? He taught himself assembly and C for microchips using the Gulagon board. And so the reason I can confidently say that I have seen the Gulagon board create outstanding engineers who have dominated the class that they've even encountered is because I've witnessed it. And I again, I have no financial association with the Gulagon board people. I bought it as an experiment. I bought a couple other kits, actually. I have another couple kits that I've never had a chance to experiment on people. But this particular one, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. And I believe it was because the guy who made it was obsessed with learning and education, and he was a really, really solid computer engineer. And the only downside of it is that there's really a lot of technical writing, and it's pretty complicated writing. And so I actually offered to, you know, I said, you know, can I publish these tutorials in another way? You know, can we try to open this up or whatever? No, it's called the Gulagon board. I don't know about the Golden board. I haven't heard about that. There's somebody posted a link in the chat to it if you didn't get it. Gulagon, G-O-O-G. No, sorry, G-O-O-L. Gulagon. Gulagon. And I know for a fact that they work. Thank you again, paro senor. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for being here too. I appreciate your help on this beautiful walk. Hopefully none of these dogs are loose today, but you just never know. So, you know, and here's another thing. If you're young enough and you don't know if you want to get into computer engineering, if you don't know, maybe you don't know, maybe you're like, hey, do I want to become a web, you know, technologist, or do I want to be, you know, do I want to be a database person? Do I be a machine learning guy? Which, you know, I've talked about machine learning. It's going to be the dominant way of programming within the next 5 years, if it's not already. And, you know, if you like math, so right now you're still kind of experimenting, and that's something that I have always tried to accomplish at SkillStack when I had it running. And this stream is the closest substitution for SkillStack now that I don't have it anymore officially. And so, yeah, I would just say, I would say if you need to explore, and a lot of times when you're young, you still have to figure out what you like, right? I wish I had explored electronics more as a kid. I didn't. I have a feeling if I had explored electronics as a kid, that's what I would be doing right now. But I kind of ended up in this particular path. How's it going, chickens? How are you this beautiful day? The chickens are happy. We're just saying hi. They look very peaceful. They look very happy today. The chickens are happy today. So if you're still trying to figure stuff out, you know what I mean? If you're still trying to figure stuff out, then explore. Do a little bit of everything. Do it while you're young, by the way. Instead of, you know, shave off a little bit of gaming time one day and do it to, like, explore and say, buy a Gulagon board and see if you like it. Buy one of those solder practice boards, which I definitely need to do. Oh my God, my soldering skills are horrible. I'm so bad. I watch what's his face. What's that guy? There's another streamer who he's a sound engineer, and he does a lot of his own soldering. He's like really good. I just wish I had that skill. But Yeah. Yeah, and I would explore it, because here's the thing: you don't know what you're gonna like. You might try hacking for a while and try pen testing. By the way, if you do that kind of stuff, interview, if you can, interview people who do those things. Solderman Sid, yeah, thank you for him. Yep. I mean, because I suck at solder. I think I would have really liked electronics, specifically hacking electronics. I think I would have really gotten into that. But I wasn't exposed to it. I was exposed to coding early, thank God, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I would explore. Try your game development stuff. You might find that you really like it. But by the way, during your exploration, make absolutely sure that you interview people who do the job daily. Have them tell you all the reasons that they like it or don't like it. Because what will happen is you're going to end up. Game development is one that comes to mind, right? Everybody, including me, wants to grow up and be a game developer. And then they talk to a game developer, it's like at Bethesda. They're like, wait a second, you work 90 hours a week and make what? Money, and don't get any, gratitude. It's like a sweatshop. So I'm not saying don't be a game developer. I'm saying make sure that you talk to people in the industry before. You can always change your mind, right? But, talk to people. Ask them what they do day to day. Ask them what they would have done differently. Seek them out. You don't have to. Offer to pay them for dinner and take them to lunch. Whatever it takes. You got a lot of people. You got a lot of professionals that are available on YouTube and Twitch, who, and particularly in this community. And I'm not just pushing our community. Our community tends to attract people that are, serious, and they're willing to help others because they've been around the block for a while. I don't know why, but we tend to attract old people who've been around. And you also want to talk to young people too, because there's new industries that are breaking out all the time. The machine learning industry is a real new one. So yeah, I would spend a lot of time talking to the people who work in machine learning daily. What do they do? What is their activity per day? Do you have enough time to take a break and go walk? Can you work remote? Do you have to work in Langley? A lot of federal. I learned languages, and I interviewed for the CIA and the NSA and all that stuff, and there's a lot of things about that job that I, once I found it out, I'm glad I found it out, because it's like, no, you're not around your family practically at all. You're lucky to see your family. Plus, your family's always at risk. Blah blah blah. So, every time I respond, I'm going to need you to say that name out loud. No, there's a lot of names I can't say out loud. People love naming themselves things. I never report people for their name usually, but that was a problem on YouTube too. People would name themselves things that were really inappropriate. And I was like, I cannot say that. Yeah. So, if that's your real name, I'm not going to slam it anymore. But we're going to go sit down here by the water. 1:30. Alright, how much time do I have? What's our next thing on our schedule? Let me go look at see if I can do this without breaking it up. So, yeah, try stuff out. I tried out security stuff at the beginning of 2021. At the beginning of 2021, when I started streaming, most of those VODs are done now. I think there's some on YouTube left. I've deleted most of them. I was really, really into security. I thought, I want to go be a hacker. I've always wanted to do that. And get paid. And then I got looking into it. And no, not interested at all. Other people might be, not me. And I'm not trying to slam anybody. I just didn't want to do it. I think the reason I didn't want to do hacking is because I found out it was mostly paperwork. As a job, it's mostly paperwork. It's like you run software that's only been written once. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing like 0-day discovery, that's a totally different thing. There's probably many, many different types of security. There is, actually. We talked about that a lot. So, but yeah, ultimately I was like, this cloud stuff is plenty fine for me. I'm happy with this. Hey VMT. Skinny dipping. Somebody said that improves your immunity system if you do it early in the day. If you like jump in. I don't know what our bandwidth's going to be like here, but we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna hack, I think the most entertaining hacking is the kind you do on your own time. So, jealous of the weather. It's already got snow on the ground? No way. That's what somebody else was saying. Cryptotherapy. Cryotherapy, oh god. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. People do it though. So nice. Yeah. Immunization, cold water is good for immunization. There's always somebody working on something no matter what. This is a good time to work on stuff where it's thing because it's so thick and overgrown. You know. I'd probably turn around. Yeah. Yep. Turn around. No trail editing today. No. Nope. I'm in fact I'm not even gonna go down there by the dog, by the Doberman, the Rottweiler, I'm sorry. Down here there's Alex, this is Julie and Alex. They came out and talked to us. They own the lot right next to this lake lot down here. We went out, I have a VOD of me watching the sunset. It was really pretty. That was a great day. But I don't even want to go down there today. I don't like ruffling feathers of people lately. Just, maybe it's the yoga. Maybe I did the yoga. Now I'm a good person again. I don't know. I don't know. Pleasant way. You know? Is that a coop back there? What is that? I don't know. You know what? I mean, that dog is so strong. I just don't want to risk it, man. If that dog ever got a hold of me, I'd be done. I'd be totally done. I don't know if the dog is out. Can you see it? It's kind of hot, actually. Taking my jacket off. Can you see the dog anywhere? I just love going down to the lake right there. There's another area down here you can go down to the lake. You get too close to the water and you just don't know. People do not tie their dogs up here. It's like fucking criminal. They don't tie their dogs up. And I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh shit, we forgot to tie the dog up. I've been chased so many times on runs. One was a pretty big dog. And she was just there out, on the driveway. It wasn't this road, it was down the other one. She was just sitting there. And she was just, sunning herself with her doggy, and her doggy wasn't chained or anything, and her dog decided to run with me instead. And it ran with me for like 2 miles. And then I would lose it every like 500 feet, I'd lose it, and then it would come back. And it just kept following me, and it followed me all the way home. For feather ruffing. Yeah. Sure was the yoga. It might have been. I mean, the yoga was great. I can't wait. We're doing yoga every day now, in case you guys don't know. Those of you who haven't been watching. I'm doing yoga every morning. Every morning from 9 to 10 Eastern. 9 to 10 Eastern, we're doing yoga. Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Really, really enjoyed it. This morning felt so good. Oh, good. You know what's funny is too is like all the creaks in my knees and everything from like walking, just walking, they're not there. They're not there. Most of the creaks and sores and pains and stuff are because you just, you haven't loosened your body up a little bit. Yeah. Just have tetanus and rabies shot. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the time when we can move someplace where I can be safe, even if I'm out on the road. In my younger days, I was more daring. I was like, I don't give a shit. I'll just kick a dog in the teeth, But around here, I don't know what it is. People, I guess, maybe they're entitled or something. They just don't think that they have to comply with leash laws of any kind. They're like, no, my dog's gonna just run fucking free. Sucks to be you. Rural? Yeah. There's no sidewalks. Welcome to America. $1 million homes, no sidewalks. That's pretty much America right there. America could give a shit about the public. They really don't have any desire, depending on where you are, but particularly in the South. If you don't have a car, you don't matter. Why the fuck are you walking? That's what people would say. I'm not kidding. You guys think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. Americans do not give a shit about pedestrians. They do a lot of lip service and blah, 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 blah. And then, in their particular little, neighborhood, they'll make a nice, happy walkway and everything. But when it comes to the civic responsibility to have walkways on every street, fuck that. Too expensive. Taxpayers don't want to pay that. They'll pay for all kinds of other shit that's unnecessary, like subsidies for NASCAR and all kinds of stuff. They will not put sidewalks in. Exactly. You don't have a Hummer? What the fuck are you doing here? Why are you even here? You don't belong here. I'm just going out for a walk on the public streets. What are you, some libtard? Some libtard who just wants to walk and enjoy the forest and the outdoors of our neighborhood. This is our street. Do you think I'm kidding? Most of these people, if you corner them and they're not afraid of you, they will be nice to you. But as I've shown over and over and over again, the default is not to be nice. The default is to be, this land's been with me for 20 generations. I can't wait for somebody to come yell at me for just filming the fucking chickens. It hasn't happened yet, but you watch, it will. The day that happens, I should get some sort of Twitch thing going on. One of these days, I'm gonna walk up to these chickens to just film them, and someone's gonna come out and fucking scream at me for just filming the chickens. I swear to God, it hasn't happened yet. The South Park for NASCAR, it is really good. It's good. I didn't give you permission to film my chickens. I didn't give you permission to film my chickens. You're going to disturb my chickens with your 5G. I'm using 4G. I don't care what G you're using. I have no idea who these people are. They're probably wonderful people. If somebody were filming my house, I'd be a little freaked out too. I won't lie. Seriously, if somebody were pointing a selfie stick at my house, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'd say, I'm just enjoying your beautiful home. And that's the honest God truth. And I always go down this walk. I have a feeling that eventually they're just going to get used to, oh, that's the guy who just walks and talks like a crazy man. They'll get used to it. But there are certain people who are not okay with it. And they like to tell you, wait, is that a cedar? I think that is a cedar. That's a huge cedar if that's a cedar. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. At first it looked like one. I was going to say that was really big for a cedar. cedars are such amazing trees. They smell so good. What the hell is that noise in the distance? The G stands for government. And I don't know to take it to government. And big government is bad. Absolutely. Absolutely. And 5G stands for government. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use that one. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Oh, God. The delivery people don't give a shit. They've seen everything. Usually I can disarm people with a wave or something. They're like, oh, it's just an old crazy dude. And they're like, they switch over to like empathy and, oh, look at the old poor guy walking down the street. He's retired. He's lonely. He's just filming things. I can play on their sympathies. Like, I'm just out for a walk, you know. I just turned 54. I like to fill my day with the beauty of your neighborhood. Which is actually true. It's actually true. It's not even a lie. Look at that. Look at that beautiful sun breaking through. God, I wish you could see it at my level. I think I'm seeing it at 4K and you're seeing it at whatever. Reminds me today on Hacker News. Winamp skip version 4 because nobody would have wanted to download Winamp foreskins. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That sounds like Apocrypha. That does not sound serious. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can believe that one. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, well. I mean, yeah, it's like, oh my God, you got to see my Winamp foreskin. I want to believe. Oh, dude, you should see the foreskin I just downloaded. The Winamp foreskin. What? Yeah. Check out this Winamp foreskin. As opposed to 3 skin? Oh, you're talking about Winamp. Yeah. I didn't know Winamp 4 had skins. There's 4 skins? You can go all day with that shit. That is horrible. That is horrible. That is horrible. And rated M. And not suitable for work. Meanwhile, oh my God, water cooler talk. Lunchtime water cooler talk. You're gonna corrupt the young'uns. They're gonna be like, do I have to be a crusty old fart if I grow up into tech? You really don't. It's so pretty. Pretty. You don't put a house. Hey, Moz. Was it? It's AMA. How's your corporate America treating you? Yeah, definitely AMA. Corporate America's treating me pretty good, actually. I'm going up a hill is what I'm doing. I'll know more in probably a month or two. I really love my team. I love the job I'm doing right now. I feel like I still have a lot to learn, and that's good, right? Our new manager is phenomenal. really like him a lot. He's kind of a hands-off person unless it's your thing, and I do my thing. I just do it in my own time and my own way. I like that. I like hands-off management. So the new manager's way less hands-on. And I feel like we're getting our deliverables. Cheers, America! Hey, Quentin. Thanks for the cheer. Yeah, I had to say that, I mean, I don't know. It's corporate America, you know. The biggest complaint I have is that I have to spend so much of my time doing it. Honestly, you know, I spend at least 6 hours a day more usually. And then I spend, you know, most of my free time studying stuff that applies to my job. You love the live streams. They're fun. So that's all. I mean, I have insurance now, right? And I'm like swimming in money, even though I've still carrying a lot of debt from the business. But it's manageable debt. Mostly though, I'm happy because I can, you know, I can do stuff. I can, you know. We're living in this crazy cheap apartment too, so that's really, it's kind of funny because our rent is so low and the amount of money coming in since I joined the corporate job is just ridiculous. It's really great. We'll be probably out of debt here, even with the business debt. Got in under a year, so we decided to stay here. Yeah. The main thing I like about it, honestly, and I've decided that as long as they'll employ me, I will probably stay full-time employed, is because of all the relevance. I mean, this was something I was concerned about before, you know, after 7 years, right? And frankly, I missed the container boat completely. I didn't need it, so I didn't do anything with it. And also, I didn't need to teach people containers as beginners because it really hadn't taken off. I mean, Kubernetes hadn't been solidified until, I would say, 2019 was probably the year that Kubernetes was really dominant. I mean, it was like a no-brainer at that point that Kubernetes is the way everything's going. And so, you know, being involved, I mean, I had some catch-up, right? And I think having one foot in the industry in some way kind of keeps you current. Yeah, they'll keep you in. And they'll keep you working with state-of-the-art and stuff like that. It depends on the company, right? The company I have right now, I could not ask for a better position because it is, you know, it's high-performance computing with Kubernetes for machine learning. So it's 100% the best operations position I could ever want on my resume, let alone the fact that this job, you know, if this job ever stopped being interesting or something went down south because I'm a contractor and they cut back or something, I doubt they would though, because they're one of their biggest profit centers. You know, you work as a consultant and you like that you've been doing front end stuff, React and Angular work. And I think if we're looking for another one. Yeah, well, that's how I started. I mean, I started out doing front end web development for Nike. I was Nike's webmaster, and I actually did back then to do front end, anything dynamic on the front end meant you had to know how to Perl code on the back end. They were inseparable, and that's changed. But that led me to do more back end things and get deeper into the back end side of things. And I think that there's a lot of money to be had in the back end, honestly. Personally, I from where I'm sitting, the number of people they cannot fulfill. Again, my recruiter calls me every month, and he's not one of these spammy recruiters. He's a good one, and they're begging for people. They cannot get anybody who even has basic Linux SRE skills. They're you know, I think the statistics on Bureau of Labor and Statistics, I think they might be a little off. It says that the growth rate for front end is like 32%, and the growth rate for software engineers for developers, 28%. You got some crazy offers last month. I know. Yeah. Wow, that's a long one. What did you say? Google Consultant, to get more exposure, other tech stocks, and more back end. Yeah. How's it going, Leslie? How are you? I ran a 5K with my phone and my gimbal the other day. I know we've been talking about IRL stuff, right? So the gimbal's gonna get me. The only thing I haven't tried is longboarding yet, and I'm just about to return my GoPro, but I don't know. I feel like I can return it, and then if I need it, I can always add it back. You know. Oh, also, I bought the Movo dual directional mic. Oh my god, it's so cool. Yeah. I kind of like the DMB, the DJI 3 better than the 4. I'm sorry, the 4 better than the 5, because it has a bigger battery and you just put it on a. I'll have to show you the rig later. Also, I did yoga this morning and I used my Rode mics. So the Go Wireless 2 is kick-ass, especially if you're going to do it at home. If you're going to do it at home, it's phenomenal. You can put a cloud lifter on it and pump it right into your soundboard. I don't know if that's what you want to do, but yeah. Oh, did you do no rip? Did you like it? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. You're gonna do no rip. Yeah. I've been watching no rip. I've been watching. I watched Mikey. Like I watched New York. You know the New York guy. Did you watch the New York guy yesterday? Mikey was on it. He had his GoPro kit. I found out he uses a Live View Solo. But this is solely moneymaker. He makes all his money from bike deliveries and Twitch. That's it. Yeah. Got a split. See you, VMT. Oh, right. Yeah, it depends on. It depends on what you mean by backend too, right? I think learning how to put an application in a container is the number one thing. Learning how to create a microservice in a container, I think that is such a core skill today. Yeah, I watch Hitch too. I've been in and out with Hitch, but the reason I'm interested in Mikey is because he does use a GoPro. There's a couple of people that are doing GoPros, but you know, the way he has his GoPro on his chest belt, on his pack, and because it's so small, seriously, he takes that pack off like probably once every 10 minutes, and the camera goes to the ground and everything, right? And then you know it because on the left side he clips his chest pack and everything kind of dials in, and he clips it and you can hear the clip in the left ear. And he wears a speaker like Rob CD does. He wears a speaker and then he jams like with, you know, any kind of rock or something. But he actually charges his up really loud, and so it comes through the speakers of his GoPro. It sounds really good. But he has it like crazy loud because he uses it as an alarm, as a bell. Because when he's like screaming down the streets, they can hear him coming, so he doesn't have to like ding his bell all the time. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I know. I think that, I don't know. I'm thinking of selling. I'm just gonna sell everything, and then he got the 7. He got the GoPro 7 because it doesn't have the stupid kit. So anyway, let's see if I can make this. I don't know about this. All right, here we go. The whole modem thing. Are you going to do more than one modem? Do you know? If you're still there. Do you do more than one modem? Some people are doing like more than one. Oh, what is that? You see that? don't know what's going on right there. Some kind of where I'm at right now. Right now I have the DJI Osmo M5, and I have a Pelican case for my Google Pixel 6, and I glued the DJI mount to the back of the Pelican case, and it has the Osmo 5 has less battery, and it has a selfie extension cam stick in it, but I don't know if I like it because it has less battery, you know. Oh, you know what it is? That's internal combustion. Yeah, that's internal combustion right there. That's actually a problem. Some of these things will make a fire because they just sit there and they get that internal what's that? AT&T. Yeah, multi-data is so expensive. I know, I'm with you on that. Compost can get crazy. I know. I think that's what's going on because of the bacteria and stuff, right? I'm probably gonna lose signal pretty soon, people. I'm really sorry. I'll talk for as long as I can, but I'm coming to the kind of a dark spot. I know that there's a spot right here that's kind of dark. So, otherwise, I'll say goodbye. Yeah. This, or Leslie, sorry, is that I noticed that my sound cuts out, but I don't lose video. I was watching my VODs the other day, and I had video for the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Bye.